Now we will learn to draw a simple button in Flash CS3. Let's just start by creating a simple rectangle graphic for our button. Select on rectangle tool and choose rectangle primitive tool. Just click and drag on your stage. Now I want the stroke to be in light gray color. And I want to set the fill color to, let's say, a medium blue. And since I use the rectangle primitive tool, I can switch to normal selection tool. Go to this corner and just drag it so that we have a little rounding edges here. I want to resize it a little bit. I want it to be a little bit smaller. So I choose a free transform tool. So that's gonna be the base of our button. And we must convert this to symbol. So I'm gonna select this object and click on modify and select convert it to symbol, or you can use F8 keyboard shortcut. This time now we're gonna choose a button symbol and put a nice name, for example home. I'm gonna set my registration at the center and I'm gonna click OK. And so now we have our button symbol and it should be appear in our library here. Besides that, we can confirm that we have a button symbol with the icon in this properties panel. And we can also see some familiar properties. I got the buttons, positions, and its size. So we're gonna test our movie. To get a preview of our button, we'll select on Control and click on Test Movie, or you can press Ctrl Enter on your keyboard. And what I'm going to show is we got a hand cursor that activates automatically and changes whenever we roll over the button. So we're gonna close this windows first. Now when you double click this button, we can see the button have a timeline where we have frames and we call it as states. We have up states, over states, down states, and heat states. Up states is what represents the normal look of your button, while over states is how the button's gonna respond. For example, when the user roll over the button. And down states is when they press down the buttons. And I'm gonna explain about heat states after this. But first of all, I'm gonna change the layer name and I will double click and type in as background. So that we can change each state of our button here. I will select the over frame, click on Insert, Timeline, and select Keyframe. Now I have two frames. It's gonna be the same, and of course we can make changes. So click on Overstate, select the rectangle down here, and make a simple changes to the color. and go for a lighter blue color. Now let's put a down frame as well. And I can use my keyboard shortcut here, as well as remember F6 to insert keyframe. Or you can choose Insert, Timeline, and click Keyframe. So I'm gonna change the color to a lighter one too. I'm gonna select on the shape and go for brighter blue color. Now this is green. I'm gonna choose blue. Okay. So let's just test our movie. So this is normal state of your button. When the mouse is over the button, it will turn to a medium blue color, and when you press down the button, it will be more brighter color. So I'm going to close this first. I would like to mention that you don't need to use them all if you don't want to. And now the heat frame. The heat frame allows us to define the heatable area of the button, or the part that you can click on. The main reason to use the heat frame is actually enhance the heatable area. Let's say you had a special small button, you could draw something on heat frame to expand the area where the user could actually click. Let's try on it. Click on the heat frame and press F6 to insert keyframe. Right now the heat shape is actually the same like the other shape in other frame. Let's choose the free transform tool and resize this button. Make a little bit smaller. And move it over just a little bit. Now we can see our new heat area is on the right side where the button appears. Alright, okay, let's just test our movie. Click on Control Enter. And there's my button. When I roll over it, nothing seems to happen. Even the hand cursor is gone. But remember, the heat area is off here. So you can see my cursor is over the heat area and my button activates when I click on it. This is pretty bad button. Nobody's gonna figure out that there's a button here. So we don't want to have the button like this. So just close it off and right click on it and choose Clear Keyframe. Right click on it again and choose Remove Frames. So there's nothing on my heat states. So let's test our movie again. So it works well now. And I'm gonna put some text on my button. I will create a new layer by click on this Insert Layer tool and name it as Text Label. And switch to Text tool. I'm gonna change the color first. And change my font style as well. No bold, no italic. Click and start typing. I'm gonna name it as Home Button. This is too big, so I'm gonna resize it. Now let's test our button by click on Control Enter. As we can see our button, when we roll over the button as well as we click on it, color will change. So let's close it off and go back to scene 1. And that's it. This is how we create a simple button in Flash CS3. I wish you all good luck and happy trying.